Getting the news, bringing the news, making it better right here on TeamNet TV News Online. TeamNet TV News Base, getting the facts, bringing you the folk event live right here on Facebook, YouTube, Google. TeamNet TV Online, Liberian first online TV station. TeamNet TV, making it better.
How much financially viable this entity was, prior to the war. And then the war came, of course. Most of its infrastructures were damaged. Greenville Port, Buchanan Port, Harper Port, of course Monrovia Port. Those are the four ports that we have currently. And because of the war, they were damaged. So I spent some time in the U.S. where I worked, and then also went to graduate school. So when I came back home, I worked with Maritime for 1 year. And then after the 1 year, I went back to the U.S., stayed 90 days, and then I came back. And then I was praying to God. I said, well, God, restore me. But I didn't think I would come to the National Port Authority. But ironically, be careful what you pray for, because I kept saying, Lord, restore. And then I received a phone call from the then managing director, Parker, to come and work in her office as a consultant, management consultant. So when I came back post-war, that's the first job that I had. And most of the departments in the port were dormant, within the system. The NPA system was dormant, like the property department, the environmental department, the port of Greenville. Those actually were my concern. And additionally, we were ISPS, certified by the U.S. Coast Guard. So one of my primary assignments was to ensure that those physical aspects of the ISPS were implemented. So that fell within my laps to be to work with the security department, ensure that those mandate that we needed to implement were scouted by the security department, and it was passed down to me to ensure that it is enforced. So I've worked in diverse areas of the National Port Authority.
Saying you are not just like a strange person to the MP, working within the MP. Now you have been given the opportunity to serve the people, to serve Liberia. What are those changes you think that you as a person can bring to your country, to the National Port Authority, in terms of improving the port, not just the Monrovia port, but the other ports around Liberia?
When you work in the third tier position, you are in the background. So your work that you do, you don't take credit for your work that you do, but your boss, the managing director, takes credit for work that you do. But actually, that doesn't mean that those ideas come from. But anyway, we were in supportive roles. So being supportive, we will bring the ideas, we will bring the suggestions, we will do the budget to be able to execute projects. But at the end of the day, your boss, yes, I've been here for a while. The other post that you're talking about, one time in February of 2013, I went to the Greenville port with the American Coast Guard and some representative from the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia here. And when I got to the Greenville port, I was truly embarrassed as a Liberian, because of the war. And those pictures, you'd be surprised. I posted them on my Facebook page. So if you go on my Facebook page, you will authenticate what I'm talking about. Like one of the pages, you will see ISPS visitation to the port of Greenville. That will tell you. So when we went there, I saw these very dilapidated houses in the port of Greenville. Nothing worked, just one, a ship with trigger in every now and then. And I'm a daughter of Sino. I was born in Sino County. My father has 7 children, all born in Monrovia. I'm the only person who was born in Sino County, so that meant a lot to me. So I didn't express to anybody that I was embarrassed. But to see the Americans there, when you hear Greenville, it sounds so good, and then to go there and nothing, works there. And I knew as a little girl when I worked at the port here, when I was very young, I know that port, the port of Greenville, was one of the ports that brought in money, to the National Port Authority. So I came back, did a PowerPoint presentation, calling the managing directors and my other colleagues, and then we took it from there. And I made 12 trips to the port of Greenville. Most of the buildings that were there, some of them had structural integrity, some didn't. We cleared all of them from the port. I got some of the Sano youth involved, even though we paid them, and we cleaned the port. And we didn't have equipment, so everybody was saying, but we don't have equipment, how are we going to do it? I said, but we have partners. We have GVL, we have RCL, and other logging companies that have equipment there. So what I thought we could do was use their equipment to be able to clear the port. We will buy the gas and also pay the operators, the operators, the machine, those who operated the machines, and so, the MD at that time bought the idea, so I took my team there, and today, cutting a long matter short, the Port of Greenville has been resuscitated. It is working. We have more ships coming in there now. We have GVL is within our ports. They're shipping their oil, outside of the port, and they have just recently, within the past year, erected a plant. And again, if you go on my Facebook page, you're going to see. So I've been actively involved in resuscitating our ports. But because I was in third-tier position, it's not a position that was, that spoke for the port, for public, at public affairs. So I'm glad that in my position now as acting managing director, those all of the contributions that I've made over the years that were not known to the public, that they would get known.
You didn't talk about the other ports like the Harper Port.
The Harper Port needs a lot of work. Because of the war, most of the ports were non-functional. But now Monrovia Port, with our partners, APM Terminals and other corporations like Streamex, like Connex, and all of those. So we're operational. We're ISPS, certified, level 1. Buchanan Port also has picked up too. It's a smaller port, but also economically viable. It's one of the ports that stands out. If we invest in Buchanan Port, it's going to be one of the ports that will serve not only Liberia, but also neighboring countries too. For transshipment, Buchanan Port is the ideal port, and it is working now, but we need to take it up to the next level.
Okay, now my discussion brings me to the APN terminal. Let's see your working relationship with the APN terminal. Recently, there was a group of workers from the APN terminal that were on that there was on a go slow, working work go slow. And looking at your work relationship, how is it like between the APN terminal and the National Port Authority in terms of working and seeing the well-being of the workers there also?
Well, APN Terminal signed a contract with the National Port Authority. We are the landlord, and they're, our lessee. Everything that has to do with their contract, we have some leverage over it. In business, if we don't see, if we don't, let's say if we have a disagreement, that doesn't mean that we're not business friendly. The APM terminals came on board at the time it was economically difficult for Liberia. So, and then of course, we handed them a contract that wasn't so beneficial to Liberia. But at the same time, we've signed that contract for 25 years. And so we have to be able to monitor, their activities here. In some way, they've contributed, a little bit to Liberia. I have my own personal opinion why I am grateful that they were here and they've done some things at the National Port Authority. They've done some development here, but it's nothing strange that we didn't do before the war. For someone who may not have been at the National Port Authority or the Freeport of Monrovia prior to the war, they will be impressed. For one like me, who right fresh out of high school, who came to work at the port, at the Freeport of Monrovia, I say that we did it before. When we did it before, we collected millions of dollars. Our marine services worked for us. National Port Authority was financially potent. Unfortunately, we fought a civil war for 14 years, so economically, we weren't economically strong. They came on board, yes. We have a contract. However, there's a part of the contract that's already expired. That's the marine services, and we've just, asked them to give us the marine services, and of course, that's how they make money. So, trying to give it back will not be. It won't be so easy. But the fact of the matter is that the war is over. Most Liberians have gone to school. Like, remember, I told you I worked here as a little girl. And then, I'm a grown woman. I'm very nationalistic. As this is not about me. This is about what the rest of the Liberian people. And so I've been placed here to make decisions that we have to make as leaders will not be as easy, but if we want to make our country and our corporations, financially strong, then we have to make those decisions. That doesn't mean that we're not friendly with APM terminals. Their managing director and I were at a fundraiser. We took some pictures together. They understand business. Business is a win-win situation. You win, I win. We're friends. During negotiation, nobody goes to negotiate and you're friendly, because everybody is taking care of their turf. I got my turf, you got your turf. If you encroach on my turf, it's not going to be pretty. But at the end of the day, when they make money, when we make money, it's a win-win for all of us. So we have a good working relationship, I would say. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the chief executive officer, their regional director who works out of Nigeria. He was here. We stated our position. We also met at a mansion yesterday, and we stated, emphatically stated our position, so they know where we stand. And I've already, the contract is for 25 years. I think they've stayed 8 years of the 25 years. That entails, cargo handling, marine services, and handling loose cargo, general cargo. But at the same time, the marine services was only meant to be there for 5 years. So 5 years, as someone who knows that that's the bread and butter of any port, I would not stand by and let money that would come to Liberia go, to another entity without, standing up for the Liberian people.
One say APM terminal have transformed the port in terms of developing the port, looking at the port years back and saying today, you've been here. Will the MPA continue to do those developments? Have you not seen anything that the APM terminal has done in terms of transforming the port?
Well, basically, the key at the commercial key at the port was refurbished, let's say, and they've built an administrative building, nice, where they have their employees. You have to know that business people that come to your country come to make money. You have resources that people want to come, and no one is isolated. So you have business people from around the world. Multinational corporations will come and do business with you. In a country where you don't have money but you have resources, companies from abroad can engage you, especially with the Africans here. But what we should do is that we should have strong policies. We should know that what the business that people want to do or the resources that they want to use belong to us. And when it's like what God gave to us, if God gives you something, you must be able to protect it. You should be able to protect the environment. You should be able to protect your endowment. Say if your father gave you anything, you got to be able to protect it. You got to make sure that it is profitable. You don't just take it and give it away to someone and then you suffer. And that has been our case here, and then we have not been disciplined, but I think we have learned a little bit. If you drove in a port, and I wish you could do that and do a little documentary, we have paved all of the roads, within the free port of Monrovia, which we will transcend to Buchanan Port, and then we'll also go to Greenville Port. Those things came about because I remember sometime early last year, they may have been in the plan, but someone has to be a catalyst. A catalyst is someone who stirs up everybody to do what they ought to do. And so I remember coming to work one morning, we were in an executive meeting. I told my bosses that we aren't doing anything. So what do you mean by that? I said, because we have a lot of money in the port to be made, but we aren't making that money. We have in real estate there's something called police power. You, the entity that has police power, you can develop a place and then charge, the people that the port users to be able to pay for those, those improvements that you've made. So we've not done that, and I did real estate with Long and Foster School of Real Estate. I went there, attended there, graduated from there. I also got certificated by the licensed by the state of Maryland, and I also got licensed by the federal government of the United States of America. So I knew a thing or two about real estate. So that also helps in our leases that we've done here too, because in order to bring our leases to speed, when I was a consultant with Honorable Parker when she was here, I was able to do a workshop and also do debt collection, ensure that those that rented from us did not sublease, and then we don't get anything from it. So those were but at that time the leverage wasn't as high as the leverage that I have now.
You seem so passionate about your part and being so nationalistic. And looking at you given the opportunity to serve, tell us, what are your plans, your actual plan in making sure that Liberia Port becomes second to none in West Africa?
Let me tell you something. I've just sent a team to Accra, Ghana, that includes the controller, and as well as the corporate, not corporate, but the corporate PR person to go to Ghana. In your mind, as an administrator, but you also like to verify. They went to Ghana, and the report that I wanted to get from there, I already knew it, but I wanted to confirm it. Marine services were over reports. The marine service is the bread and butter for every port. It brings in the money. That money that you have can be used to reinvest. I was alluding to the fact that if you go in the ports right now, after that presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, that we could use the money that we get, from APM terminals and others to redevelop the port. My bosses bought it at that time, whether it was for the right reason or for the wrong reason, but what I wanted was to ensure that that idea was accepted. So if you go in a port now, the same money that we were given from our real estate, the same money that we were given from our APM terminals royalty, that's the same money we use to be able to develop, to be able to build the roads of the ports. Because when containers turn over in a port, they have accidents in the port. If this were in America or in any other developed country, do you know how much money we pay for insurance? So we've had all of those situations in the port, but now that's different. And I wish you could take your cameras and go look around. Yeah, go look around in the port. Even though we don't like for people to take unnecessary pictures, but if you're doing a documentary, that can be acceptable. So if you go in the port, you see great development. I may have been in a third-tier position, but to be a catalyst, to put forth that idea, to be able to rigorously, challenge my bosses that yes, we can do this, and to see them pick up that that mantle, and to see the roads in our port constructed. I should say thank you. I think this is my promotion is a reward from all of the work that I've done for the past 5 years. And many a times, I would say nobody's even saying thank you, because people have a way of taking credit for your work. And this is Liberia here. People have a way of taking credit for your work, and they will keep you in the background, and they will make sure that nobody knows. But thank God to Facebook. Because if I'm a consultant, if I did my project, I would put it on Facebook. So now if you say, she didn't do this work here, it's us that did it. No, the pictures on Facebook, the albums on Facebook will say, yes, she's saying the truth. It's just that she was in the third-tier position. Like Sign-Up Port, whenever I go to Sign-Up Port in the Greenville Port, I am so proud of the time. And from Monrovia to Greenville, that road is dangerously bad, but now it has gotten a little bit better. And during even the Buchanan road wasn't fixed at the time I started going to Greenville, and to have lived in the U.S. for 18 years, and then to come here, and then to be up and down on that road. But I was very, I don't take a job unless I have interest in it. And working here as a young girl, getting paid, and then to have used that money to go to college, and to be a graduate degree holder at this point in time of my life, I owe it to, even though I didn't get on no government scholarship. Obviously I worked to put myself through school, but still, this was my starting point. And again, you ask, what do I intend to do? I tell you what, you can't implement projects until you've taken back territory. Let's put it that way. I'm telling the world that there is so much money right here at this, with this entity, National Port Authority. There's so much money to be made. Too much money to be made. We have warehouses here. We need to buy forklifts, cranes to be able to service those warehouses. We need to have our place properly electrified so that we provide electricity to every warehouse here. Police power, we improve the place, the people pay us back. The users pay us back. So much money to be made here. Additionally, like I said, I sent my team to Accra. The Marine Services in Accra makes money for the entity, and that money is reinvested. They have, if you go to Accra, they have a hospital there, that generates money. They have quite other investment. Why are we giving it away why are we not paying attention to no one is paying attention, but if you have passion for your job, you pay attention to those little details. Long ago, National Port Authority had properties in Mamba Point, which we discussed today in management meeting. We have other properties, housing property in the free zone. Mamba Point, that's that prime property right there that we can, refurbish, and we can. Those were executive houses. So I've been here 3 months, but we've conquered a lot of territories. Number one, yes, we were opportune that in the time of our ascendancy, APM terminals, their contract for our marine services are expired, which we will get back in the soonest time possible. Let's say, and then if you go to the port of Buchanan, something phenomenal happened there. I told you that there's a lot of money to be made here. For the past 5 to 6 years, a company called Smith, the same company that does the marine service for APM terminal, they have been on our waters in Buchanan Port. They do towage for Salamita. When I ascended, I asked, but how much of this money is coming to the National Port Authority? basically none. So those people were brought to the table. So we're going to start afresh where we can make money. The logging companies weren't paying us. They weren't paying anything to us, citing executive order. Well, guess what? We've brought them to the table, and they are also paying. So all of those people who were using the premises of the National Port Authority, the various ports that weren't paying, at least we brought them to the table, and they are held accountable, and they have agreed, and they know that they should be able to pay.
Okay, before I get to my final question, people are probably thinking, when will these two ports be very active, as the port of Buchanan and port of Monrovia, like the Buchanan, the Sino port, the Greenville port, and the Harper port? Do you have any intent of opening this port very soon for active use?
Are they closed?
We're talking about.
Yeah, perhaps you weren't listening. The Greenville port is very active. In fact, we're generating now. We're generating.
So you have vessels going up.
Yes, and there's something miraculous is happening. Yes, since my ascendancy, we got GBL there, we got the logging, companies, and so our revenue from Greenville port, may not be astronomical for now, but it is, way better than what it is. The Buchanan port too. Now, I wish to talk a little bit about Buchanan port. I know we have investors who want to come to help us to invest. Initially, when I first, got promoted, I was thinking about that, but then also I'm thinking that all of the monies that we'll be getting from our marine services, that money is enough to be able to fix our ports. When all of our revenues start to come in, we don't have to go to the banks to be able to get loans, because we will have enough money to be able to bring the Buchanan port up to speed. Look at APM terminals. It took them for the past 5 years, every now and then they fix something, every now and then they fix something, every now and then they fix something. Well, we can do the same thing too. Every now and then, we fix. Every now and then we fix. The first thing to do is that the commercial key, we need to fix it where it becomes active. Extend that key a little bit so that it'll take 2 large ships, and we can take it from there. So now we are more vigilant. I just sent a team to the outstation port to see all of our properties to ensure that everything is intact, and they've brought me a detailed report of everything that I need to know. Again, I have hope. Let me tell you what's happening now. For the past 5 years, I think National Port Authority has only been paying $2 million to the national government as our contribution. Why is that so? We're supposed, when I remember pre-war, National Port Authority paid the salary of government employees. That's how strong our contribution was. $2 million is a drop in the bucket, because you know what? Right in Monrovia Port, we can make far more than $2 million. I can guarantee that for free. Okay, Buchanan Port is a money-making machine sitting there, because it is ideally situated for transshipment. Not only, the logging companies can also use Buchanan Port. Greenville Port can service the whole southeastern area. So all of these economic packages are coming together little by little. We're having meetings, and you have to have meetings, you have to have a plan. We've just extended 3 months. Yes, we have all of these ideas. So you also got to know that in my capacity as acting managing director, there's a little bit of limitation, but I don't look at that limitation, because those that are making our ports to be stagnant when it comes to revenue, we are bringing them to the table. And it's difficult. These are big companies today. They have big friends. I think the president, he appointed me to be able to do my job. So if I'm doing my job, he's not going to get angry with me for doing my job. I think somewhere, somehow, I want to believe that when he sits somewhere, I think he will say he's made the right decision, because too many people came here, too many people have used our facilities, just for free, and they didn't pay, and they were friends to people who were in high authority, so no one paid attention. Can you imagine a company will come from their head office, send tugboats here, and go to Buchanan Port without any contract, from the National Port Authority, and they will just navigate that water for 6 consecutive years, and nobody raised an eyebrow. Even for APM terminals to use our marine services for additional 2 years, when they made $38 million and we only made $28,000. So even wait 1 more day to even have a negotiation back and forth for the marine services, we have to be very passionate. That means that it's not about us. It's not about what other people can give you for you to be quiet. Because this is the norm. And you will be so amazed that in this government here, every time I go to a meeting, a meeting I wish economically will take a stand. The other colleagues and I, we don't go to a meeting prior, but when we get in that room, we have the same voice. I saw that happen recently with the Ministry of Labor, the Minister of Labor, the Minister of Justice, myself, the economic advisor to the president. We had some case to go on in the Justice Minister's office. We did not go to meeting prior, to going, we didn't have an extra meeting. But when we got in that room, we went with one voice, and I was so proud of us, wanting to retake, reclaim what belongs to us. Yesterday again, we went to another meeting. In that meeting, I'm not going to say what kind of meeting we went to, but I saw, without going to a separate meeting, everybody who was in that room there was there with one accord. That's how it should be in Liberia. We want to do business. We want to invite investors here to do business with us. We want to invite the Americans, the French business people all around the world. We have the resources to do, for us and people that do business with us to make money. But, we got to ensure that which the people want to make money out of belong to us. So if we put the right policies in place, if we sign the right contract, they're happy, we're happy, we have money, they have money. That's how it works. If we don't have money and they have money, then it becomes a problem. So I want to believe, from here on, I want to believe that every Liberian is putting up, their best foot forward. The president said if you were doing corruption before, you should hang your boots up. That was funny. That means take your boots and hang it up. So if the people accused you before, if he gave you a job, commit yourself to that job. And for some of us who have not had no record, no blemishes of corruption anywhere, I tell God, thank you and let it be so. We have a fiduciary responsibility, a natural responsibility to the Republic of Liberia. And so help us God, we will get there.
Thank you very much for talking to us on TeamNet TV today. This is TeamNet TV. You can get us on www.teamnettvonline.com with our head office in Belgium. My name is Axel Robert. My team is Henry Kanga. Thanks for talking to us today on TeamNet TV Online.
Getting the news, bringing the news, making it better right here on TeamNet TV News Online. TeamNet TV News Base, getting the facts, bringing you the fourth event live right here on Facebook, YouTube, Google. TeamNet TV Online, Liberia's first online TV station. TeamNet TV, making it better.